Listen, fundraising isn't what you think it is. It's not some neat process where you tick boxes, pitch decks fly around, and money just rolls in smoothly. The reality? It's brutal. It's messy. It's exhausting. And yet, here you are, founder, investor, leader, dragging yourself through endless meetings, gutting your nights over follow ups that disappear into thin air. That ache, that frustration, the pit in your stomach when you realize the people you expect to believe in your vision can't even look past their own doubts, it's real. But what if all this grinding pain, this soul crushing struggle, isn't because you're doing it wrong? What if the common tactics everyone teaches, the flashy presentations, the endless networking, the chase after the same investors everyone else is chasing, what if they're the very things trapping you? What if the system you're trying to play by is actually built to make you fail? Not because you lack talent or grit, but because everyone is playing by the same tired rules that reward the mediocre, the safe, the predictable. The truth that nobody shouts loud enough. Fundraising success doesn't come from doing more of what's expected. It doesn't come from working harder or fitting in better. It comes from breaking away, from being raw, from harnessing the power of radical, unpolished individuality, the raw human fire that refuses to bend. The tactic so few dare to use, so undervalued it's practically invisible, yet so profoundly powerful, its authenticity, pure, unapologetic authenticity. But pause a second and feel that discomfort inside you. You know what it feels like to be vulnerable in front of investors. Raw hope on your sleeve, risking everything on a pitch that might get swept aside as not polished enough, too unconventional, too risky. Authenticity feels dangerous because it's not a neat product. It's you, stripped of your armor. The question you face every day is terrifying. How do you expose your true vision, your raw, imperfect, burning truth, without getting crushed by those who don't see it yet? How do you make that leap from being just another pitch to a magnetic force that pulls the right capital and minds into your orbit? Here's what's hidden in the chaos of the fundraising world. Your authentic story, your unique vision, your real struggle. These are your most magnetic assets. Not some slick PowerPoint, not 100 networking events, not a polished script read like a robot. It is you. But you, really showing up, is the rarest currency out there. Why? Because the system rewards conformity and second guessing. It fears the wild cards, the ones who burn instead of bend. It likes safe bets, but you? You're not here to be safe. Imagine the moment a founder drops the pretense, the rehearsed lines, the forced optimism, the checklists, and instead speaks their brutal truth. The sleepless nights, the crippling doubts, the relentless fire that drives them even when all signs scream quit. Imagine an investor leaning in, not because of expected metrics, but because they're seized by that fire. The connection is instant, real, and transformative, because it's not about numbers, it's about the human soul behind those numbers. This tactic, radical authenticity, is so underrated because it terrifies most people. To be truly authentic in fundraising means rejecting safety nets, exposing weaknesses, and owning them as strengths. It's walking into every meeting with nothing to hide and everything to give. It's about telling the story nobody dares to tell because it's vulnerable, because it doesn't fit the script, because it's messy, but it's real, and real is magnetic. And here's the secret that changes everything. Investors, especially the ones who build empires from nothing, don't back polished facades. They back the person who dared to be themselves fully, the ones burning with raw clarity and brutal honesty, the ones who challenge the system with their vision rather than submit to it. Because those investors know that change, progress, power, the real kind that reshapes industries and rewrites rules, never comes from comfort zones or fitting in. It comes from individuals who break the mold, who disrupt with their truth. You think you're alone in this? You're not. Every founder who's changed a game, every investor who backed a revolution, every leader who reshaped an industry, they have one thing in common: a relentless refusal to shrink. They connected with their core, embraced their story in its full, flawed glory, and found the few who burned with the same fire. And that shared fire, not data or projections, sparked everything. But here's what most people miss. Authenticity isn't just about being honest. It's a strategic weapon. You need to craft it deliberately. Not scripted, not fake, but deeply aligned with your mission, values, and the fire that keeps you awake at night. You need to show the discomfort, the battle, the imperfect steps you took forward. That level of realness disarms skepticism because it's human. It generates trust that no polished sales pitch ever could. Don't make the mistake of thinking more data, more meetings, more follow ups will get you there. They won't. The game is different now. The world is flooded with ideas optimized and sanitized for the broadest appeal. Safe, repetitive, faceless. Investors know it, and they want something different. They want the bold, the rare, the firebrands who refuse to dim their light. And this is where you rewrite the rules. By unapologetically illuminating your story, the true why behind your venture, the real consequences you're solving, the scars you carry, the fight you're unwilling to surrender, you become a signal so sharp it cuts through the noise. You align with the few who recognize that raw power and want to fuel it. You build a network not of just supporters, but collaborators, of people who don't see you as a project but as a force. This tactic isn't about shortcuts or tricks. It's about liberating yourself from the shackles of the false system, from the lie that funds only flow to the polished and predictable. It's about embracing your sovereignty, your will as your weapon, not bending to fit a mold, but shaping reality from your unique stance. It's about patience, because real transformation takes time, but it's also about relentless action, presenting your raw truth every single time. Not cutting corners, but cutting through the noise. This is the edge, where the rare gather, where systems end and something new begins, where you don't scale noise but amplify essence, where it stops being about pitching and starts being about becoming the leader your vision demands. The authentic you, unfiltered, unbroken, unshakable. You might feel exposed, scared even. Good. That's the fire. That's the living reminder that you're breaking free from the old world's illusions, its false promises of comfort and sameness. That discomfort is your real power, signaling that you're about to transcend the system that wants to process you into mediocrity. And when you do this, when you stand in your truth, that's when connections happen. Not just with money, but with visionaries who see you as a signal, who will invest not out of obligation, but because they believe. Who will become collaborators in something bigger than just a deal, something truly world-changing. Fundraising isn't a game for the timid. It's a brutal, beautiful dance of raw human energy and relentless will. Those who succeed aren't the ones who mimic, but the ones who break mold after mold, story after story, vulnerability after vulnerability. This is not about fitting in. It's about standing out so deeply that you can't be ignored. So burn with this truth. Your greatest weapon in fundraising is not a trick or a spreadsheet. It's yourself. The you that refuses to apologize. The you that sees through the illusions to the raw power beneath. The you that connects with that rare few who are ready to ignite the future alongside you. No more running from the uncomfortable. No more surrendering your fire for the promise of acceptance. Lift the veil, bare your soul, wield your will. Let authenticity be the spark that tears through the noise and pulls the world to your side. Because in the end, the rare will not just survive fundraising, they will remake it. And it starts with you lighting that fire, fiercely, fearlessly, and unshakably raw.